My name is Kaeo Milker, and I'm the lead game producer for Heroes of the Storm. So I basically oversee the overall production of the game. I work really closely with our game director, Dustin Browder, our tech director, Alan DeBerry, and our art director, Sam Didier. Kind of the four of us really chart the course of the game and help determine the prioritization and really kind of keep our momentum going with our very large team that's working on making this game.
Yes, so the first question about the Eternal Conflict is how did you get the idea to bring the Diablo inside Heroes of the Storm with such a patch?
Yeah, so it was always our intention to bring the Blizzard universes into Heroes of the Storm. We did start out going to worlds that were kind of new places. We called them these Nexus worlds, you know, Blackheart's Bay and Dragonshire, Garden of Terror, these places where they were familiar in that they kind of were these fantasy settings, but you know, no one really had any expectations of what they were. That was kind of intentional. We really wanted to set the stage for Heroes in a way that players could come in and they see some familiar characters, but they're in unfamiliar places, so they can kind of get their feet wet and understand, you know, to expect the unexpected in this game, because we are kind of doing things differently. So we really wanted to get these universes in, but we wanted to set the stage and then start doing it. So, you know, the Diablo universe is something that we are all very passionate about, but our team has predominantly worked on the StarCraft series and the Warcraft, specifically Warcraft 3, Warcraft 2, World of Warcraft. So the Diablo universe is something we all love, but we haven't had a chance as developers to explore to the most part. We have some people who've worked on Diablo on our team, but there are dozens, if not hundreds of people on our team who didn't work directly on Diablo. So that was a really cool world we thought to bring into the Nexus and a good place to start with, where we get to go explore that universe and have a lot of fun with it. And I think, as you see, we bring some very familiar elements in, but we're always bringing kind of the heroes, the Nexus spin to them all. So, you know, it's familiar, but we get to do fun things with it that you could only do in the Nexus. So we're really excited about it. I think it's about time to bring in the Blizzard universes, and it's really cool to see Diablo in there.
So for the moment, you introduced 3 new heroes and 1 new map. You also said there will be a second new map for this Diablo event. Do you plan to bring more heroes from the Diablo universe, or will you go to another universe afterwards?
Yeah, so we talked about the 3 heroes that are coming here with Eternal Conflict. So, you know, we started with Johanna, but she was really before it started. She just kind of was heralding the coming of Diablo here. So we'll bring the Butcher, Leoric, and then the Monk in. The plan after that is to go to other universe heroes again. We really value variety in this game, and while it's really fun for us to have this kind of summer of Diablo and bring all this fun stuff in for Eternal Conflict, overall, our goal is to just bring in as much diversity as we can into the game. We really like going through all the game worlds and bringing a lot of different types of characters in, different play styles in. So after we have the Monk in, we will be going to non-Diablo worlds for a while, but we definitely will be coming back to Diablo in the near future as well. So you can expect us to be cycling back and bringing very cool heroes in from all the universes.
Yeah, because we noticed there were some heroes missing from StarCraft universe, specifically there's no tank. For StarCraft universe there's no specific map. For StarCraft universe, will StarCraft be the next patch? Or maybe will the next patch not be related to universe?
Yeah, so we have kind of this very endless stream of patches where we bring in lots of features and content. The big focus now is Diablo. We will definitely bring StarCraft in. I can't confirm what the timeline is for when StarCraft would be coming in, but we're really excited to do this. Again, our team has spent many years on StarCraft 2 and that world, and it's a really cool thing to bring in, so we're excited to do it. It's just, I can't tell you when that'll happen, but it'll be here.
So a lot of Heroes players are fans of Diablo, and at the beginning of the game they thought there was not enough Diablo stuff. Do you think this patch, the Eternal Conflict, will fill the gap and make all players happy?
Making all players happy is very challenging, but I think it definitely gets us closer to that. I mean, I think it's very clear we have Warcraft is very well represented in Heroes of the Storm right now, and that's really a reflection on the fact that there are so many amazing characters and kits from the Warcraft universe that fit really nicely in this game. StarCraft and Diablo are definitely underrepresented right now, but I think Eternal Conflict starts evening that out a little bit. We really needed to get a support in for Diablo, so I'm very excited to bring the monk in. And he is very much a Diablo style support. He feels really unique. I think players are going to be very excited about him. But you know, we'll keep balancing that out across the worlds as we move forward. And I'm excited for what comes next.
And about the monkey, can you describe a bit the hero? Why will he be a unique hero in Diablo style?
Sure. So, I mean, he feels very much about the monk. You see, we released a trailer. I think that's all we've really shown for him so far is the Eternal Conflict trailer. But that's the game model that you see in there, and it's actually playing a lot of game animations as well. So he's unique in that his trait is something you can choose for him. So when you first start out with him in a game, you actually can pick a trait, so you get a little choice of how you want to kit him, if you want to go more healing or more damage. So from the very beginning, you really get to start shaping him into the character that you want him to be. So he's very mobile, very visceral. The way he moves around in the game is totally unique, feels very much like the monk, and the way he impacts and attacks people, his vibe on the battlefield, it just feels like the monk in a uniquely Heroes way too. So I'm really excited about him. And again, since we didn't have a Diablo support, I think players who like the Diablo universe and really want to play a support, they finally get their chance to do that with him.
Okay, thanks. And we know that the first Diablo map will be like heaven versus hell place with like two giant monsters. You didn't show anything about the new map. Can you maybe give us some clue about what it will be, where it will take place?
So I can't tell you much about that one yet. So it's coming. We'll have more information on it soon. And I think it's much in the vein of our other Battlegrounds we've done so far. We really try to vary up the gameplay a lot. I keep talking about our last two maps were Sky Temple and Tomb of the Spider Queen, where Sky Temple was this giant map with shrines that spawn that push you in very far-reaching corners of the map and make your team make choices about, do you want to attack a shrine or hold it, or I'm sorry, a temple, or hold it, versus spread out. Do you want to get mercs? Like, there's all these choices to make that spread you very far apart. Where Tomb of the Spider Queen is a very small map with really close together lanes, and you're constantly fighting in and out of lane and battling for gems. So like, it really just changes the gameplay up. Much in the same vein as that, Battlefield of Eternity is creating these moments where all the teams come together for these immortal battles in the center of the map, and you have to make choices about defending your immortal, attacking the enemy immortal. Then when the immortals get to half health, they switch places, which creates this total chaos in the center where both teams basically cross over and all battle each other out in the midst of all of this other turmoil that's going on. The next Battleground will similarly change the gameplay up dramatically like that. So you'll see it go in a very different direction. So when you queue for Heroes, when all these maps are in the mix, game to game, you're going to see a lot of variety in the gameplay and the strategic choices you get to make as a player. So we're really excited to bring that additional variety in and get players, enjoying even more how diverse the gameplay experience can be in Heroes.
Thanks.
And talking about map diversity, today the map pool is becoming bigger and bigger. Do you think that in championship tournaments, people will come to have some bans like in StarCraft for maps?
Yeah, so we started talking about we're going to be doing a map rotation in the normal matchmaking pools. For this release, for the next patch that comes out on Tuesday, which includes Battlefield of Eternity, the first week it's only going to have 4 Battlegrounds in the map pool. It's the same 4 that are currently on our PTR. And then after that, we'll go back to our full map rotation. But in a future patch, we're going to start having possibly a weekly map pool where it'll be a subset of all of our maps that are playable that week. And then each week it would rotate in different maps. So we'll try to kind of constrain and change up the map mixture that way. We've already seen in a lot of tournaments that there are choices at least where people get to pick what map they want to play on, and winning and losing teams might get a choice of the Battleground. So I think that's what I've seen so far in tournaments that have really dictated which maps get played and which don't. But from our perspective, we really think all of them have their place in this game, and so many of them do things like making certain heroes that are not always maybe a top tier pick suddenly becomes a really valuable pick in it. Someone like Gazlowe suddenly has a lot of value and utility on a map like Sky Temple or on Dragonshire, and we like that. We like that each Battleground brings different value to different heroes. So I think from our perspective, we would like to see that diversity in the map pool, but how that plays out in tournaments, I think, is yet to really be determined, and we'll be watching that closely as we move into this road to BlizzCon with our own tournaments that we're running.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question about Team League. For the moment, if you are a player and you want to participate to this game mode and you don't know a team, you don't have a team, there is no real tool to look for players, like to search for players from your level. Do you plan to bring such a tool in the game?
We definitely have a lot of plans coming for how we can help that problem in particular. You know, I'm sure you've seen there's like that kind of looking for group feature that is more catered towards finding somebody else who's also indicated they're doing that. That doesn't necessarily help the Team League thing that you're talking about there. I think one of the big things that we have in the works, there's no timeline for it right now, will be our clans, though, where you'll be able to be a part of a community of people that are like-minded, that their skills and their goals and objectives for how they want to interact with the game are going to be aligned, and that will be your best choice for how you pull from people that you don't necessarily know out of game to be able to form meaningful teams with. Currently, the best options for that are making friends from things like Quick Match, but I know that's hit or miss, and sometimes you have great experience with that, and sometimes you don't. But we definitely have a lot of social things in store for the game that I think will start improving that, and it's something that we're always watching and really talking about constantly of how we can help improve that process.
Okay, great, thanks.
Talking about the Eternal Conflict once again, you introduced the Treasure Goblin at the beginning of the game. How did you came to the idea of this fun stuff?
Yeah, so Treasure Goblins are such a uniquely Diablo thing, and I think it's such a fun part of the Diablo games. And most recently in Diablo 3, it creates those moments in the game where all of the darkness and chaos gets totally sidetracked by this moment of insanity and fun. And I think we really wanted to bring a piece of that into Heroes. We actually explored a lot of different things with Treasure Goblins. There was at one point crazy talk of actually having them appear during the middle of the actual battle. What we settled on was making it a new type of quest. So there's now an event quest, which will appear in your quest log in addition to your daily quest. So it doesn't take the place of them. It's like an add-on quest. And what we're doing is once a day, if you kill a treasure goblin, you get a gold reward. So it's kind of a fun, easy way to get some free extra gold every day. But they keep spawning. So even if you've already completed your quest, you may still see treasure goblins appear, and you should probably jump in there and help your team kill them real fast before the gates open. But yeah, so how we settled with it is he appears before the gates open at the beginning of the match. And if you guys kill him before he goes and jumps back through his portal, the people who have the quest available will get the gold reward. And actually both teams have it at the same time. So if it spawns, it will spawn for both teams in that game. But it's just fun, right? It's Diablo, and it's fun, and it's lighthearted. I think it's perfect for Heroes, and we'll see how it feels. We'll try to find other opportunities to do things like this in the future, and we definitely welcome everyone's feedback on whether or not this is a cool addition to the game.
Okay, I think people will like it.
Yeah, it's just fun. I don't know, it's a lot of fun.
For the moment, in Heroes of the Storm, you can only chat with the people. Do you plan to bring some vocal chat in the game?
We did. We did talk a little bit at our launch events that we are working on a voice chat that will work with games like Heroes of the Storm. You know, we did have voice chat in StarCraft 2, but that was much more catered at like one or two people talking at a time. So we definitely want to address this in a way that works well for parties of up to 5 that are in the game together. And I think it's going to be valuable to people. So we are working on it. We will add it to the game. I don't have a timeline for it, but I think it will be a welcome addition for those of us who play with a lot of people consistently and would like a better way to communicate.
Okay, thanks.
And talking about those people you play with, sometimes people just leave or are bad-mannered. Do you plan to improve the report tool to maybe cover more of the bad habits of people?
Definitely. So your report options, and for people who don't know, right now in game you can hit the tab menu, and there's a little wheel at the far right hand side of the player list that you can use to report from there. You can also report from the score screen right now by clicking on the players' names. The categories of reporting today are admittedly a little light. Like there's only a couple, so you might say this person's being rude. I don't see something that says rudeness. All I see is harassment. That's probably the closest you get today. So we will definitely expand that to have categorization that makes more sense for the types of reports we're getting. So one thing we did do is we were looking at the breadth of reports we're getting, and that's informing the types of reporting tools that we're going to provide for players. So that support will be coming. There's a lot of other things we have in the works too that are dealing with. We have an AFK system today where players will get automatically kicked, but it's something that's in constant evolution. Sometimes it's not catching people. Sometimes it's too strict and catches someone who was just busy for a moment. So those are always things that we're going to be dialing in and improving. But I think the combination of the new tools we add, there's going to be a lot more auto detection support added in that finds players who are not participating. And it couldn't just be AFK. Sometimes they're also just doing bad things. Like, they could be actually doing something in the game, but they're doing all the wrong things and not in an unintentional way. So I think we'll be building out much more robust systems to find and then action people on those things. So players can definitely expect that stuff is in the works and coming. And there are some things we do on the back end that we don't talk about right now. And there are things that are going to be very visible and that people are going to see as well. So expect us to make a lot of improvements there.
Okay.
And talking about the score screen at the end of the game, do you plan to introduce maybe a lobby to just debrief the game with the enemy team? Because today it's impossible to talk with the enemy team, and some people are frustrated about that. Well, some people are very happy about that, but some are not. So
yeah, we've had a lot of discussion about that, and I think early on we made this choice that there's no cross-team chat, and that was the beginning of some of these things we were doing to try to eliminate things that we thought predominantly we're creating negative experiences with people. So even if there's the one-off person who says, I think the best part of the game is when I talk smack to the other team, or when we give each other crap because someone died or whatever. Like the one person who enjoys that, there might be the 9 in the game who it completely ruins the experience for them. And so we made a pretty hard line in the sand that we decided that we would rather protect the masses rather than provide this fringe outlet for the rare person who enjoys it. One thing we did discuss is there a world where maybe at certain modes of ranked play, there's more communication options available to you than there are, say, in quick match or in lower level play. That could definitely be something we still explore. I think today we're really happy that cross-team chat doesn't work. As far as talk in the lobby, while I can see that some people might say, that's my moment to have some conversation with somebody, and occasionally I might even be like, dude, you're awesome, let's get together and play a game, and he was on the other team. That's generally not how it's going to play out. I mean, if we're realistic, that's not really the reality of how it always plays out. So I think we will be open to exploring where there might be an appropriate place for that. Today, as we're trying to build this game, more than anything, we're trying to eliminate those negative experiences. I think we're going to be very aggressive of how we do that. And let's watch that together. I think if players have feedback on where is a safe place to do that, maybe there's an elective mode you get in that it's free-for-all talking, and if everybody wants to do that and that's the mode you choose to play in, great. Maybe that's reasonable. I can't say that today, and I think it's something that we'll keep looking at as we develop the game.
Okay, thank you.
Do you plan to bring some observer mode to the game? Like you have a friend, he's playing, you are new, you want to learn how to play, you
like
just
Hearthstone.
want to, like Hearthstone, you want to check his game.
Spectator mode and stuff. That's definitely something we want to add to the game. I don't have a timeline at all for it. It's something that we talk about a lot, and I think that ranges from a very simple system like Hearthstone, where maybe you could jump in and just watch a friend play while you're waiting for them to get out of the game, to much more elaborate systems where you might be watching a tournament be played in semi-real time in the client. And I think all those things are things that we are really excited about and that we want to explore. And I think in time we will get to them. The question is when here. It sounds like I'm running out of time too, or I want to make sure I get in your final questions before we get cut off here.
Okay.
We can just have a last question, no problem.
Okay, so the last question will be about the Eternal Conflict again. This is a big in-game event. Like some people may say it's an expansion, but how and when will it end? Will it end at a certain time with an event in-game, or?
Yeah, we're not really looking at it as an expansion. I think I look at it more as just, it's really it's kind of like the summer of Diablo. It's this celebration of Diablo. So it is a multi-month thing. We're going to bring in a bunch of heroes, skins, battlegrounds. It's all about Diablo, and we're having a lot of fun with it. There's not necessarily like a moment or some big event that it all ends with. It's just more of like, like everything in the Nexus, it's going to transition into the next cool like chaos of what's next that comes after it. But I think we've never done something like this, so we're gonna watch it and we're gonna listen to everyone's feedback. And if people like this and it feels good, we'll do something similar in the future. If it feels like it was too much Diablo for too long, then we will mix it up. You know, we really, like I said, we value that variety. We really want to bring in lots of new stuff and have you have tons of cool new experiences all the time. I think it's the right thing to do with this game, and I'm really excited about it. And it seems like players are really excited about it. So I can't wait for it to begin on Tuesday in earnest and have people start playing the new Battleground and the Butcher. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, so thank you very much for answering our question.
Thank you.
And good luck with bringing out a new patch, and hope to see you soon.
Cool, thanks a lot, guys. Nice meeting you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye bye.